Alright, so we learned the basics about what to do when we have different things in equations to solve it and isolate x. Now we're going to deal with multi-step equations. This is where we have to do more than one thing to get to the final answer. So what you're going to notice in these types of questions right away, if we look over here, our goal is to get x by itself. But right now, there's a 4 and a 3. We have to get rid of both of them, and each of them will take their own step. So I want to teach you the main idea, so how you can do it pretty quick, but I want to explain why we do it that way. So the main learning is that when we have a choice of should we get rid of this 4 first or should we get rid of this 3 first, we are going to do the 3 first because it is adding or subtracting. The 4 is multiplying, so we'll do it last. I want to show you why that is so you can understand what's going on. All right, ooh, sorry about that. So looking at this, I want to figure out, let's try getting rid of the 4 first. Right now, the 4 is multiplication. So to get rid of the 4, I got to do division. And what I do to one side, I got to do the other side. Now, the problem is, this is not what it should actually look like. The idea is, this is on one side, so we divided it. This is on the other side. So if we're dividing by 4, we're actually dividing the entire thing by 4. So when we do that, we're going to get x, the 4's cancel out, plus 3 over 4, a fraction, equals 11 over 4, another fraction. So the reason we don't like to do the division and multiplication first is because then it's going to actually change this number and make it weird and oftentimes a fraction. So do not do that first if you can avoid it. So now let's see what would happen if we dealt with the addition first. It's going to look a lot nicer. All right, so I have a plus 3 here. How do I get rid of plus 3? Well, I'm going to subtract. And if I subtract from one side, subtract from the other side. So now I'm going to be left with 4x over here, and this is going to turn into 8. And now I think, okay, how do I get rid of this 4? Well, it's multiplication, so to get rid of it, I'm going to divide. So when I divide this, it becomes x, and then this becomes 2, and that's my answer. X is equal to 2. So as you can see, when we did the subtraction first, or the addition, or whatever it was, it actually worked a lot easier. Okay, let's do another example so we can see. We'll do this one right here so you can look them side by side. We're going to do this blue one over here. So I'm going to look at my x, and I got to think, all right, what am I trying to get rid of? We're trying to get rid of this 2. We're trying to get rid of this 6. So let's think. To get rid of this 6, well, that's division, so I'd have to do multiplication. To get rid of this 2, well, it's not connected to the x. It's being added to the x. There's a plus here. So to get rid of that one would be subtraction. Let's do this one first. It'll be a lot easier. So to get rid of plus 2, I do minus 2. We do it to both sides. So now I'm left with negative x over 6 is equal to 18. Cool. Now I need to get rid of that 6. So to get rid of that 6, right now it's division. So to get rid of division, I'm going to do multiplication. Do it on both sides. And that's going to leave me with negative x is equal to, what's that, 60. 108, sorry. And now we're almost done. The only thing we gotta get rid of is that negative sign. So this is where you can do your flip, or we can just divide it by -1 on both sides. And that's gonna give us our final answer, x is equal to -108. So again, we could have gotten rid of the 6 first, but we chose to get rid of the 2 first, and it worked out a lot nicer. So looking at this purple question right here, think to yourself for a sec, what should I do first? Our options are, we want x to be by itself, so we got to get rid of the 5 or the 20. So I'm actually going to get rid of the 20 first. So I'm going to say plus 20 to both sides, do the opposite. That's going to leave me with 33 equals x over 5, and that's it, because the 20 canceled out. Now to get rid of that 5, I'm going to multiply by 5 on both sides. It's going to leave me with x over here, and 165. So that's it. So the lesson is add or subtract before you multiply or divide.